Hello everyone, welcome back to Football Manager. This is going to be a somewhat interesting episode because I have no clue where we're going with it. We're starting off by taking on Wales in the World Cup, and I think we might have already done enough to escape the group, but I'm really not sure on that. So, how the rest of the episode is going to play out depends a lot on the outcome of this match. I was going into the recording last time, I was expecting us to just get trounced, but we've been punching above our weight with our victory over Poland in the friendly right before this. So Canada's come into form at the right time, which makes it possible for us to beat Wales here, or I think even a draw gets us out of the group for sure. If we lose, it's a little more dicey. Um, I suspect Wales did better against Iran than we would, but I'm not sure. So it's going to be interesting because I'm not entirely sure how a three-team group qualification works. If it's only one team, we need to beat or draw Wales here. If it's two teams, we have already effectively qualified. So that's one thing, and whether or not we qualify from the group is the big unknown for the rest of this episode. Because if we do, we just have our second World Cup match, probably some contract stuff on the Amazulu side, and it's a fairly normal episode. If we get knocked out, we're going through the summer with all our contract negotiations and stuff, and all of a sudden this turns into a massive episode. So, we'll see. Now that I think about it, I think Wales is probably showing us in second right now because they haven't played Iran yet, and probably we're going to play them before they have their Iran match. So it really is going to be up in the air how this is going to play out. Amazulu's board gave us money to hopefully carry us through till when we've unloaded some contracts and get a little more cash positive. I wouldn't mind if Wales played Iran in that gap between our match and theirs because our two matches, because that'll mean they're coming against us much more tired than we are. And that's definitely something I can use to my advantage. Wales are on paper a better team than we are, but I think they're less of a better team than we were than Poland are, and we actually did pretty good against Poland. Oh wow, I've been playing this for years, and I've never seen this particular uh, thing pop before. Apparently, Tunkara came out as gay. I have no idea what, if any, impact that plays on uh, my management of the club. I suspect it could affect his mood if he starts getting bullied for it. Or he'll probably have like a baseline more positive because he's more comfortable with himself. But depending on the culture where he comes out, he could receive a fair amount of bullying that drives his morale down. I would guess that's how this interacts. But I've never seen this before. And I kind of get why it's very rare because you wouldn't want to put that in for a real person. So it has to only trigger on a generated characters, I think. Yeah, he is a generated character. Obviously, they've got to have it gated off from real people just because you could really fuck someone's life up by putting that in the game and having people buy it when it turns out it's not true if they're like from one of the countries where it's not tolerated. Not going to make a lot of changes to our side for the Wales match. We brought a pretty close to the best team we could into the Iran match. This looks pretty good. Henry's not quite as good as I'd like. Harbour's not as good as I'd like. Petrasa's not as good as I'd like. Kay is actually pretty bad now. Mujkic is not as good as I'd like, and Laren's not as good as I'd like. But it's about as good as I expect from Canada right now with the development that they've been following. So we'll see how things look game day, but I feel pretty good about that squad. Yeah, we just need a point against Wales to qualify, so a draw works. Wales has fallen on a bit of bad form. Well, we've been doing really well, but they are the better team on paper. So this is going to be an interesting match. Really building the suspension with all these tickovers that nothing happens in. Suspense, not suspension. I don't know what I was thinking there. God damn it. Reading have made an offer for Williams that we had to accept. Better Williams than Walker, but I don't want to lose either one of them. Oh, sweet. That's the benefit from Tunkara coming out gay. We get more revenue from fan support. That's actually really cool. Especially because we badly need revenue. Ugh. Miserable conditions to play in Commonwealth. It's far enough north that we don't really want to be playing in the rain this early in the year, but could be a lot worse than 13 degrees, so we'll make do. We've actually played Wales once before and drawn them, which is a nice thing to know coming into this. And we can bring Josifov in for Henry, which is a slight improvement for a team that gets rid of one of the underperforming player or underskilled players. The big issue is still that we have Mark Anthony Kay in, and he's not great, but I believe that's probably a fatigue-based recommendation. Let's see. The other option that we would have would be Owusu, who is not very comfortable in that position, or Arja, who's brand new and not very comfortable in the position. So yeah, Kay is definitely the best of a bad lot for that position. Owusu plays really well, but he's not super comfortable in that role. And I think I want players that are comfortable when we're playing a team like Wales. It's unfortunate that Josifov doesn't have the match sharpness that I'd like for starting out, but that's something I can't control because that's on his club coach to actually play him. We can see how comfortable Wales are on the ball. We're defending pretty good against them, but they have a level of familiarity and like quality passing that we just don't have. We're making a lot of positional errors, like 4 people clumping up to interrupt that run pass. Which, I mean, we interrupted it really well. It was good on that, but we had no one out in the open to receive it. Oh, the crossbar did some work for us there. Normally, I'd be thinking like cold, rainy conditions would give us somewhat of an advantage, but we're playing Wales. They know cold, rain, and rainy too. So, if anything, they're more familiar with it than we are. Still, despite those highlights being very Wales favoring, the actual stats on the match have us pretty even. We've both got 2 shots. I say as Wales gets a goal and goes up. We might be out of the tournament. I'm not going to get too disappointed if we get eliminated here because I did say I didn't think we could beat Wales before the tournament started. It was just we had that hot streak against Poland and Iran that made me reassess, but Wales are the better team. But even so, it's a fairly close match. I think we can pull this back. We've got the talent. We just need to figure out how to disrupt this brutally efficient passing of Wales. We're not able to move the ball as comfortably as they are. We have to get it out to one player and just run it up with them. Which can work, but it does give the edge to Wales. And there's friggin' Williams over there making problems for me. That is, in fact, the same Williams that plays for us in Amazulu. Maybe I should sell you just for this. Joking. I don't think I'm going to be able to hang on to him next season, but I really want to. We're starting to get the read on them now, though. Like, they've gone up a goal, but they're not too far ahead. Like, we're starting to get the feel for them. They seem a lot faster than we do, but we're figuring out the positioning to prevent them from taking advantage of that. Although they are starting to pull ahead now. They've gotten 72% possession there for a bit. I think now we're pretty much out of this match. I don't think we're getting two shots back on them. Just they've started to really take control of this game. And we're not better than them. Like, we were holding our own pretty good, but they're fresher than we are. And just better overall. We're going to fight till the end, but I don't think we're getting this back. But that's fine. I kind of knew we weren't getting out of the group all along. It was only last recording session that I started to get some hope, and we had those two really good performances. But it's not a bad thing for us to be beaten by Wales. We might still actually move up a little bit in global position rankings from this performance, regardless of losing here, because we have had two really solid performances leading up to this. K getting booked here is a problem. I hope it's just a yellow. No, it's straight red. That's it. We're done. Without K, we are done. I'm gonna move Mew's kits to the center. That was a huge mistake on his part. They're really good at shutting down Davies. Would have really liked to have Estacchio available for this match, so we could have had 3-star players instead of the 2. You know, this match is hard to watch because we're getting beaten so badly now, but it's hard to feel bad about our World Cup performance given that really nice win we had over Iran, which, granted, we were expected, but we also had the good friendly win over Poland in the build-up. That was definitely not a thing we were expecting to happen. So I think overall, like, I'm pretty happy with how this World Cup has gone for Canada. The fact that this match is playing out the way I expected to does not mean we've done poorly. Brogallard picked up a yellow. This ref seems pretty lenient, so I think our players are starting to make some mental mistakes because we're getting beaten so badly here. Given that last time we played we were able to eke out the draw, the fact that we're just getting bullied this time is probably hurting them mentally. It's really unfortunate this is the second match because I would have rather ended the camp on the high than having everyone go home dejected because of this result. Davies is still playing his heart out though. And here we can really see how much better Wales is than us, because they're just always ahead on positioning. We can string a couple of passes together and so, but they're just always better positioned. Anytime we try a long pass, they're able to get into the better position for it. This honestly could be a lot more than 2-0, and it speaks highly of Carducci that it is only 2-0. Let's see what I can try to do to salvage something out of this. Ooh, Petrasso's having a terrible match. He's definitely my sub. Gonna have to bring in Tabla even though he's a little tired. Petrasso. I kind of combined them two. Tabla seems to have terrible stamina. He's one of the better wingers I have available for that side of the pitch, but as Williams gets a goal on us. But actually that isn't the same Williams. That's Neko Williams, not Ben Williams. I thought Ben Williams was selected for this team too, but because he is Welsh. But anyway, what I was saying, Tabla is one of my better wingers for the right side. But he'll play one match and then he'll be tired for like a week. The guy just has no stamina. Like, look how depleted his stamina is. He's played 10 minutes and then he played in a match against Iran. Nice chance from Laren there. Laren's decided to just take this team on his back and carry us. He hasn't gotten a goal yet, but he's like the only one getting good chances. Cordova's not having a great match, so I'm going to bring Adekubi in for him. He's fantastic in that position. The only reason we weren't playing him there is because he was tired. Here goes Laren with another chance to at least get something out of this match. If we lose this 2-1, I'm actually going to be pretty happy given how well Wales has played today. Davis is getting exhausted, but I'm probably going to have to leave him in because he's one of my better players. I don't think I can justify pulling him, and I don't think there's a club coach on the planet they'll complain about one of their players getting a lot of minutes in the World Cup. Laren, despite his desire to take the team on his back, is struggling out there, so I'm going to bring in Jaden Nelson for my final sub. And yeah, we're just going to have to deal with a tired Davis. He's putting on one of the best performances of the team. The only people better than him are Carducci, Tabla that I subbed in, and Mujkic for some reason, who's playing phenomenally. I can keep Nelson playing as a poacher. He's weaker than Laren was, but Laren was starting to really struggle there, so I'm hoping the fresh legs will just let us surprise them. They're still winning all the positioning battles, though. Like, look at that. They're just running circles around us. This is that skill gap that we somehow need to bridge. And I think the only way to do it is to just get lucky with regens. Because the game hasn't valued a lot of the Canadian players high enough for us to play the way we do on the real world stage. And so it's just going to come down to new players generating in that are good enough, because I can't train these guys regularly. They need to get into clubs that really build them up. And most of these guys are playing second and third tier football. They're just not on the same level as a team like Wales. And it's not possible for me as the international coach to do anything about that. But I mean, it's fine. I'm actually very happy with how this performance went. Like, we struggled against Wales. We did not have a good game here. But we had a great game against Iran and a great game against Poland. And that's what I'm going to focus on for this camp. We were able to build everyone up with our after match comments. So that's good. We're not going to leave on too low a note. The referee's decision was justified on red carding case. So, actually, that's another thing to consider with that performance. Like, I felt like I was getting outplayed by Wales, but it slipped my mind that I was on 10 men for most of that match. So, I actually think we did really well at that World Cup, and I'm very happy with it. We didn't look horribly outclassed even when we were down a man. Yeah, he's right. It wasn't good enough, but it was good. The camp was good, the performance was not. I don't think. Oh, great. More teams going for Walker. It's hard because financially I'm not in a position to resist those offers when they come in. I really want to. But these guys are foreign. I can't play them as much as I would like. And I just can't afford to pay them if they're sitting on the bench all the time. So I have to entertain those offers and just hope they're really happy in South Africa and turn them down. I doubt our second match is going to be that friendly against Paraguay because we don't have any friendlies for Amazulu yet. But come early to mid-July, we're going to start filling in friendlies for them. Our preseason should start about the last week in July, first week in August, depending on the setup of the particular season. I'm looking at some of the other matchups for the World Cup, and it's really driving home how hard our group was that we got Wales drawn in it. We lost Williams to Crystal Palace. I knew that was going to happen. Like, there's no way this guy was not going to take the chance to go play in the Premier League for a pretty good club. We didn't get a huge amount of money for his sale, but we had him on the bench all last year, except for club matches. Second half last year, except for club matches, because of financial concerns. So it's a reasonable payout. And Walker is leaving to go to Hull. That's more disappointing. We're getting a lot more money for Walker because we were actually using him. But once again, I'm not surprised that he wanted to go back to England. As soon as those clubs started sniffing around, I figured I was losing those two. It's deeply frustrating to lose, particularly Walker, who I really enjoyed coaching, but I can't stand in the way of their career progression. Now that we've been knocked out, I'm not really that interested in the going on of the World Cup, so it's kind of annoying that we keep getting these updates. I assume, based on the fact that they think this is relevant to me, that they're expecting that Seattle are going to come sniffing around trying to hire me. I didn't see me mentioned in there anyway, but I can't think of another reason why I would be getting an update on a coach from Seattle getting fired when I'm coaching in South America. Or South America. South Africa. I'm making a lot of brain blunders today. Makwakwena got second in the Golden Boot running. Lost out by 1 goal to Musepi. But he was the young player of the year. And Nidlovo was unsurprisingly the goalkeeper of the year, only allowing 26 goals and 25 appearances. We were coach of the season, not surprising, 66% win ratio. Next highest rating was surprisingly Stellenbosch with 43%. And for the team of the season, Nidlovu, Mirosavic, Margeman, Walker, and Makwakwena all qualified. Once again, surprisingly, Walker on the wrong wing. Nidlovo gets a bonus that I can't afford, but can't do anything about it either. Oh, we actually got through. Holy crap. I mean, we're boned because we're playing Germany. But we actually got through. I did not expect that. Wales must have lost to Iran. Let me see if I can get World Cup group. No, Wales got through. It was just 2 people qualified out of the group. Wow. The run ends with Germany. I mean, we're not. Now it's single elimination. We can't get through on a disappointing performance. And we're not beating the Germans. It's just not going to happen. They can keep. I mean, I can always recall him later. We do get a little bit of contract drama here. Oh, can't necessarily afford to pay the data analyst what he wants. And we're quite far apart on that. He's coming down quite a bit, but not enough to get to 77, and that is the most I can offer him, so we're probably going to lose him. 82,000, and we are willing to pay you 56. Yeah, I'm gonna lose this physio too. He's coming down real fast, but I'm not getting him down that low. Yeah, I knew that. We just can't pay these guys enough. A nice thing about the German match coming up is that K is going to serve his suspension right away, so I won't be screwed by it like 3 months from now when I next have to coach a competitive tournament and I've forgotten that K was suspended. I do like these suggestions. I don't want to start Arja, but I don't have a better option there with K suspended. And I mean, on paper, Arja is a better player than K is nowadays, but not by a lot. And against Germany, I'd like experience. We're a little better off. Henry's not quite up to snuff. Arja's disappointing. Mujkic is not quite up to snuff, and Laren's not quite up to snuff. But it's about the best team I can bring. Estadio Bancomer. Oh, we're going down to Mexico for this match. Yeah, we are getting trounced here. Like, this is not... They're actually giving us better odds than I'd expect to take on Germany. But, what happened against Wales is gonna happen again. We should look alright. But I don't think we're beating the 10th best team in the world. It's going to be 29 degrees according to this weather forecast. Hopefully it stays around there, because if it goes up over 30 after we've been coming from playing up in Edmonton, that's going to be real rough on the team. Even 29 is going to be brutal against them, but at least we're not into the danger zone. Alright, they say we can't afford to pay Tao. Well, that's a year from now. Those are all for a year, so I can ignore that. Yes, the club is struggling financially, but I have a year to turn that around. I think we'll still be struggling financially in a year, but we'll have the stadium built, so at least the money drain will be somewhat gone. Oh, good. The temperatures come down substantially in Mexico. 23 degrees and calm is actually really good conditions. We should be able to play well in that. And the Germans are favored, but not as much as I thought they would be. Suggesting I sub in Owusu for Harbour, or for Urja. I do like that better. Owusu's actually really strong, but he doesn't have the match sharpness, which is why they've been keeping him out of the team. But yeah, this looks really good. Harbour's not great, and Mujkic's not great. Kyle Laren's not great, but looks pretty solid for this match. Let's see if I can pull off a miracle. We've been getting an awful lot of stuff going our way today with qualifying despite that performance against Wales, and then the conditions actually being really... Davies, did you get yourself red... Okay, just got yellow carded. I was going to say, if you got red carded inside of a minute, I was going to be pissed. But, the conditions are favorable to us with us not getting as much of a shock. It's still a 10-degree increase over the temperature in our last match, but it's around slightly above room temperature, which for Mexico coming up towards summer is pretty reasonable. And the odds makers have us having a lot more of a chance against Germany than I thought I did, so I think they've noticed how we've suddenly exploded in ability. So far, like, the Germans are controlling the highlights same as the Welsh were, but the Germans don't feel as fast. They've got the position advantage on us because they are the better team, but they don't feel as fast. I think we have a better chance of keeping pace with them. They're a little more precise, but Wales were just so speedy and agile, and they were able to just outmaneuver us in a way that it doesn't seem like the Germans can. So this game actually feels more in our favor. Geschwinter just got a yellow card, but Brogillard got another one. I think he's going to be suspended for our next match. Yeah, the Germans are not nearly as fast as the Welsh were. This actually feels like much more of a comfortable match for us. I don't feel the sense of despair I was feeling watching the highlights from the second half of the last one. It helps that I'm not expecting anything from this one, whereas the Wales match, I did think we had a chance of winning until the performance of the Welsh proves otherwise. Geschwindner got a goal on us. I mean, don't get me wrong. We are probably going to lose this match. I'm not expecting us to win it, but it's going to be less disheartening than the second half of that Wales match when we were on 10 men and they were all faster than us. I mean, you just have to look at the stats. You can see the Germans are clearly the better side here. I think we might be losing Brogillard here. Because he's already on a yellow. So he's going to get a red, and we're going to get trounced again. Oh no, they just gave the penalty, but he didn't get carded. That was actually a stroke of luck. I mean, I don't love the Germans being up 2-0. From Geschwindner again. This game is now out of reach for us, but we didn't think this was a winnable match going into it. We were really just looking to get good performances out of here. And if we had gone down to 10 men, I don't think we would have gotten good performance from the rest of the team. Oh, Davis pulls it back by one. David, assisted by Davis. The pair that does so much work in real life for Canada. But somehow in my save, they have not been firing on the same page. I've gotten very few 1-2s from them. So it's nice to see that when the chips are down, they can pull it out. And we are, like I was saying, this game is out of reach. We're back into a realm where we can realistically tie it and possibly win it. Because I think in, an hour, we can get another goal. And the Germans still don't seem that much faster than us that I'm worried about them just outmaneuvering us and getting a goal. They're going to win positioning battles. They're going to be wily, but we can get bodies in between them and the net without too much difficulty. Like, I expected they were going to beat us, but I thought they'd have to work at it, and it looks like they might actually. Laren's in a great position to get a large breakaway and then cross over to David for another goal, which will bring us even at the half. Positioning at one, but Owusu was in position, got a shot off. This is what I mean. Stats wise, the Germans are the better team, but we're getting the performances I want out of our side. They'll probably lose, but we'll get some experience that we can count on in the future. And that's been the issue with so much of my time coaching Canada, is that we were always playing like little tiny Caribbean nations like U.S. Virgin Islands, and so we could just go out and bully them. We'd win by like 14 goals without trying, and no one got any better. And then they're not getting club play, so they're not developing as players, and I can't put them in training to develop them. And then in matches, iron sharpens iron, and they weren't getting that. They were just playing countries that were like 156th in the world. A loss against Germany that Germany has to work for, like this one, will do the team a world of good because they have to actually improve. And Germany's backup 2 goals with a goal by Elmer. At least they gave me someone whose name I can actually pronounce this time. And that was the problem with the earlier Wales match. Wales were so much faster than us, and we had the red card. So no one really got to develop like a chance to really push their skills. It was just hang on and hope for the entire time. Here we're actually going to hopefully see some player development coming out of this one. Like those setups, the Germans are getting the shots off the same way the Welsh were. But the Germans are having to maneuver the ball around a lot more. The Welsh could just pass it easily through us because they were so speedy. Oh, Moab got a goal. We're seeing they're opening up a gap now. We're seeing that they're better than us by a lot, and better than the Welsh, which we knew. But still, this isn't nearly as discouraging a game because I feel like we have a chance to make stuff happen here, which I really didn't feel against the Welsh. Oh, Owusu's gotten himself injured. I think he's going to have to just grit his teeth and play through it, though. We've got some actually bad. We've got a lot of bad performances, interestingly enough, given how. Like, it's felt like the game's in reach, but we're still putting on bad performances. So I think I need to get rid of Mujkic for Arja. He's just not performing at all at this level. Looks like Davis got brought down there, and Fritz gets a yellow card for it. Arja's really not at a level where he should be playing against the 10th best team in the world in the World Cup, but with the way Mujkic was performing out there, he's getting his chance. And he immediately makes the sort of mistake I figured a player of his caliber would make. But at this point, I have no hope of actually winning the game, so it's really just developmental for me. I want to get people minutes against a good team where they feel like they can actually accomplish something so that they actually improve somewhat. Tabla's having a really bad game, so I'm going to get him off for Petrasso. We're looking pretty depleted on that wing with the current lineup, just given that we had a lot of injuries coming into this for certain positions. Petrassa's not great there, but Owusu, unfortunately the injured Owusu, is going to have to do a lot of work carrying the underwhelming players on either side of him, but Petrassa's another guy that could do with some development. I imagine he's got enough time in his career to potentially make the next World Cup if we qualify. And given how we've performed at this one, if I can keep the level of improvement I've seen going, we'll definitely qualify for the next World Cup. Guys are playing hard this game. Like, even this far in, where we're getting badly outplayed, they're working. I've got a lot of players who'd like to sub out for underwhelming performances, but I only have one sub left, so it's going to have to just be Harbour for Henry. Henry's a bit below the level I want, especially in a defensive player at this level, but he's another guy that could do it some time against Germany, and it's not like we're going to surprisingly win this match. And it's single eliminations. Goal differential does not matter. We are out of the tournament. We know that. We pretty much knew that as soon as we got drawn against Germany, but still, I'm liking how the team has looked. Like, on paper, they're all putting in bad performances, but that's because we're getting horribly outplayed by the 10th best team in the world. But they're not able to style on us, which is really all I wanted from this. That was a really nice run from Arja. He plays above the 2-star rating he's got right now. the players did not take being told that they did well in that match well, and it upset a lot of them. But the fact is, they did do well in that match. We looked comfortable out there. Yeah, I am delighted with our showing there. That was really good. Now, just for the sake of consistency, we'll pop over to the schedule and just look at this as I sign off, but there's nothing significant to see here that's going to actually indicate what's going to happen because we're going to tick over into July very soon with Amazulu. We're going to make the team changes that are coming up with all the transfers that were set up last year before we got in dire finances and all the sales I've made and people whose contracts haven't renewed. Then, like, the second week, we'll book a whole bunch of friendlies. And so early August, we'll start actually playing, which is good. That means we'll have dodged the worst of the leggy ass summer break where there's not too much going on. It'll actually have gotten broken up pretty good by this World Cup run. But anyway, so that's, well, what's going to happen next is we don't know. But it should be fun anyway. It'll give us a chance to see the state Amazulu's in after all the changes I make and start prepping for next year, which is going to be an interesting season, given that I'm trying to contend for the title again with much less team depth than I had this season. And that luck I had with all the injuries and or with no real injuries or suspensions or anything last season is gotta run out at some point, unless I'm truly focusing all of my bad luck into my personal save where I'm constantly losing players. I can usually only get together about 15 players that are healthy enough to play in a match, including my bench. And that's with rating the youth teams. But anyway, that's a question for next time. For now, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a nice day.